In this video, I'll show you how to make this clean Gmail animation originally made by Iman's former lead editor, Nikola. I've left all the assets I use in the second link in the description, so make sure to grab those, remove all distractions, and let's get to work. Alright, now the first thing I'm gonna do is grab the assets which are in the second link in the description. So go ahead and grab these and let's import them into After Effects. And we can go ahead and make a new composition. So click in this and I'm just gonna name this Gmail animation 1920 1080. 30 frames is fine, duration can be however long you want, and click OK. Perfect. Now, like always, we're gonna start by making it the background. So you can right click, go to new and make a new solid. And I'll just call this BG as in background. And the color we're gonna use is gonna be kind of a purpley white. So something like this. There's the code if you wanna copy it. So basically a white, but not exactly. And we're gonna go ahead and add a vignette to this. So this effect, you can search them in the effects and presets, or you can get this plugin, which is called FX plugin. And now we have this background made. This is pretty beautiful. Nice. Now we can start designing the UI. So I'm gonna go over here to the shape tool and get this rectangle tool. And we're gonna turn the fill on and make the fill white, and the stroke is gonna get turned off. So you can hold Alt or Option and cycle through these modes. Perfect. Now I'm just gonna draw a rectangle that looks something like this. That's pretty nice. And you're actually gonna wanna make it a bit bigger than it has to be, because we're gonna make it start from the bottom and then the camera is gonna follow all the way up. So like this. And now we're gonna start designing the whole Gmail UI thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and click G on my keyboard to get the pen tool. I'm gonna take the fill off and I'm gonna turn the stroke on. I'm gonna make it black and I'm gonna make it like 2 pixels at most. And then I'm just gonna click right here, hold shift and click over here. And we should get a black line that looks something like this. Now we can make sure it's perfectly aligned, kind of like this. And that looks pretty nice. Then we're gonna press G again, make sure nothing's selected. And we're going to do a similar line somewhere like here. And you can pull it all the way down like here and hold shift so it makes a straight line and not a line like this. So hold shift and click over here. Now that looks good. Now we can make this perfect like that. And I might make these lines a bit thicker. So I'm gonna make these 3 pixels so you can see them a bit better. Great. Now in the project panel we can go ahead and import these assets. So I'm gonna start with this Gmail icon. This is pretty massive, so let's hit S on our keyboard and scale it down. And we're just gonna scale it down till it fits like this. Perfect. Then we're gonna get the email icon, so this one. And we're gonna place it over here, hit S on our keyboard and scale it down. I'm gonna make this a bit smaller than the Gmail icon, so something like this. You can always zoom out and see how it looks, if it's too small or too big, and just play around with it. Next, we'll get the speech bubble thingy and yet again, scale it down. I'm gonna make it exactly the same percent I made the email, so I made the scale 8%, and I'll make the same size on this one, because they're from the same website, flat icon if you're wondering, so they're gonna be the same size. Then finally, let's take the camera, so this Google Meet thingy. It's a bit different than Nikola had, but I went with this because it looks pretty good. And this one, we're gonna make just a similar size to the previous ones. Now make sure to leave some space between these, because we're also gonna write the text under them, so make sure there's a bit of space. Great. So let's press Command T on our keyboard and get the type tool. And just click over here. And I'm gonna make this a bit bigger so you can actually see something. And here I'm gonna type in mail. And the font I'm gonna use, I think I'm gonna go with the Roboto font. It's probably the best one. So maybe a medium. And the fill can be not exactly black, but a really dark gray. And make sure this is off. And the first letter can be capital. Make this a bit lighter. And I'm actually gonna go with the regular Roboto. I think that's gonna be better. And we're gonna go like this. Now I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate it. And I'm gonna hold it and hold shift. So I'm gonna just move it and it's gonna stay on the same axis. And then I'm gonna press Command T for the type tool and I'm gonna type in chat. And I think this color can be a bit lighter, so I'm gonna change that for both of these. Great. Then duplicate it one more time and Command T and type in meet. Nice, that looks good. Now I'm gonna design the top part, so I'm gonna go over to the shape tool and I'm gonna select the ellipse tool. Then make sure nothing is selected and go ahead and hold Shift and Command or Shift and Control and just drag a circle like this. Then I'm gonna turn the stroke off, so hold Option or Alt and click it off. I'm gonna make the fill this type of red color. So these are basically the MacBook dots which you see everywhere. And I'm gonna center the anchor point right there. You can use this plugin. If you don't have this plugin, you can also Shift Command double click this anchor point tool and it's gonna center it. And here we're gonna essentially play with the scale, so we're gonna get it looking exactly as it should. Not too big, not too small. Personally, I think this is fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate this, hold it, hold Shift, place one right here, duplicate it, hold Shift, and place another one right there. And this center one, we're gonna change the color to yellow or kind of orangey, something like this is probably fine. And then we're gonna change this last one to a green. A green like that is fine. Alright, that looks pretty good. Maybe make the spacing a bit bigger. It's not that deep. Then we can copy this mail text one more time, drag it up, drag it right here, and we can type in Gmail and make this a bit bigger. So select it, Command A, not that one, this one actually. And we're gonna change the font to maybe a medium. That's pretty nice. I'm gonna place this above everything so we can see it, and just place it like this. And I'm gonna make it a bit darker of a color. Nice, this looks really good. Now we're gonna start designing the actual boxes and the notifications and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go over here to the bottom. I'm gonna start from here, I think. I'm just gonna go to the shape tool, select the rectangle tool. I'm gonna make the fill white, so change this to white. And I'm gonna make the stroke black, 3 pixels, just like we did with these lines. Actually, I'm gonna start from the top. So I'm just gonna draw the first box like this, make it around that size, that's pretty fine. And then we can just duplicate this box, hold Shift, and drag it down. Now you can just repeat this process over and over again till you have all the boxes you wish to have. You might also want to name these, so I'm gonna make this top box and just second and third and fourth and just like that. But yeah, I'll duplicate this and I'll see you in a second. Now before we move on to the next part, I want to quickly put you onto something that's made a massive difference for a lot of editors, including myself. Now you've probably experienced how difficult it is to get good enough at editing to actually land the high-ticket clients and achieve the time, location and financial freedom everyone desires. It's hard. Most editors never really make it. Not because they're lazy or stupid or anything like that, but simply because they're stuck and overwhelmed trying to piece together all the information from the scattered YouTube videos they find. And I've been there. That's why I want to recommend something I personally came across that's been a total game changer in my editing career. It's called Creator Syndicate, and it's a community made specifically for aspiring video editors who want to achieve some freedom in their life through their passion. Now inside you get close to 100 hours of masterclasses on becoming a top 1% editor who high-paying clients actually want to work with. Also, you get weekly group calls where you can ask any question directly from me and way higher level creatives. On top of that, a community full of like-minded editors who are on the same path as you. For literally less than a Starbucks a day, you could completely transform your life in just a couple months. Now how would I know? Well, that's exactly what I did. Now I can't tell you what you should do, but I can definitely help you reach your goal. Below this video is a link, and I hope I'll see you inside. Alright, here I have all the boxes set up, and now we're gonna start putting the actual texts and all this stuff inside the boxes. So let's start with this top box. I'm gonna copy this green dot and I'm gonna pull it right over here and I'm gonna select it. I'm just gonna change the name to dot. You can hit enter to change the name. I'm gonna change it to dot and I'm gonna pull it above everything just to stay nice and organized. And I'm gonna place it kind of like this. And I'll make the color a bit more cyany, so something like this. That looks good. Then what I'll do is I'll take this yellow dot. I'm gonna place it here. We can also rename it to yellow dot and just pull it above everything. I'm gonna place it at the same point as this one. And I'm just gonna hold it, hold shift and drag it down here. I'm gonna make the color a bit more orangey on this. So something like this. Then we're gonna duplicate it and pull it down. Duplicate it again and pull it down. You kinda get the point. There we go. Now we have all the dots in place. These are all a bit too small, so I'm just gonna select everything and I'm gonna hold command while dragging this so it goes really slowly so we don't make them go crazy big like this. So just hold command and you can kind of size them up however you wish. For me, I think this looks pretty nice, so I'm gonna go with this. Now let's go ahead and start adding all the text. So I'm gonna once again copy this mail text, just drag it over here, and we're also gonna drag it above everything on the timeline. Perfect. Now I'm gonna place it like this, and on this first one I'm gonna make it say grow your agency, just like this. Make it way bigger, can be something like this, and it's gonna be a really light gray color, so something like this. Now that looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate it, place it down here, and then on this top one the bottom text is actually blurry, it's mosaic, so you can't see it, so we're gonna do that, and that's gonna be really easy. You can just slap on the mosaic effect, so search them in the effects and presets, or just like this, and just increase this quite a bit till it looks pretty good. You can also make it a bit darker, and even though it's mosaic, we're still gonna want to change the text to what it's gonna turn out to be. So I'm just gonna type in application results, which is the text it's gonna reveal to. So just like this, and here we have nice little blurred text. Great. Now it's just gonna be repeating this over and over again. So I'm gonna duplicate the grow your agency text, and this one on Nikola's video it says Nigerian prince. So that's what we're gonna do. Just this, duplicate it again, move it down, and we're gonna make it say I have $1 million for you, and we're gonna make the color black, and we're gonna make this bold. I think we're gonna change the font completely for this text. We're gonna make this the Helvetica bold. I think that's gonna be the best. Maybe a regular actually. Maybe bold. Yeah, it's too bold. And increase the size a bit more. Now if you want to, you can also press Command R or Control R on Windows, and you can go over here and grab this ruler to make it easier to align these. So yeah, here we have it, and now you kind of get the point on what to do. So I'm just gonna copy these texts and change the text around for all of these, so I'll see you in a sec. Alright, I just typed everything out, and our UI is looking pretty damn good. Like, this is beautiful. Now it's left to animate everything, which is always the most fun part. So there's one more asset we haven't used. First up, I'm gonna grab this ruler and throw it out. But yeah, the MacBook mouse, let's add him. There we go. And let's go ahead and place him over here, and we're gonna scale you down just like this, way more. There we go. We're gonna start this animation from right over here. Whenever the mouse hits one of these boxes, we need to make them turn black and grow in size. That's basically all we have to do. And the way we're gonna do that is duplicating the box first off. So I didn't name this, I should have, but just go to this subscription expired box, so the last, second to last one, and duplicate it. So Command D. Then we're gonna go to the fill, and we're gonna make it black. Now that it's black, we're gonna slap on the effect called linear wipe, this one, and we're gonna make the wipe angle -90, so it starts from the left, not from the right. Now we can pull this transition completion somewhere like here, and we can change the wipe angle to something like this, so -144 for me. Then I'm gonna make this 100, so it's not appearing. Now what I'll do is I'll change the color of this duplicated one so we can easily tell them apart. So I'm just gonna make this purple. That's basically how we do the black thing. Now we're only gonna do it when the mouse hits the box, so let's animate the mouse, or the whole screen moving actually. So the way we'll do that is we'll right click here and make a new null object, and we're gonna parent everything to this null except for the background. So just everything, hold shift and click the first one and the last one, and take this quick whip icon and drag them to the null. Then we can make a position keyframe on the null and also a scale keyframe. You can make this full so you see how it's actually gonna look, and we're gonna go ahead and zoom in on the subscription expired one. So we're gonna go right around here. This is kind of what we want. Actually gonna make this mouse a bit smaller, minor detail, nothing to worry about. And now here at the start, you made the keyframes, so you can just go over, this whole animation lasts like 9 seconds. So you can go there, and you can just drag this Y position. Yeah, sorry, I made a mistake. You don't want to parent this mouse, so the mouse moves with the camera. Because if we move this now, you see the mouse stays in place. That's kind of what the parenting does. So if we remove this and make this none, we can actually move this null and the mouse is gonna follow. Exactly what we want. And we're just gonna make this end over here. We're also gonna increase the scale just a bit, so it's gonna have a really subtle zoom in effect. Yeah, this is nice. We are gonna easy ease this as well, so you can press F9 or you can go to Keyframe Assistant and easy ease. I'm gonna make the scale a bit more, just like this. And we're also gonna add a subtle curve, so you can select the keyframes and come to this graph editor and just make a really subtle, like a 50 curve. Just make it look a bit better. And I'm not gonna make the scale so drastic actually. Yeah, this is nice. I like this. Now, back to the boxes. So, now we have the mouse done, so we can just go over here where the mouse hits the box. Right there. Keyframe this transition completion. Go like a second forward, maybe something like this. And you can make it 0. Then you can press U to see the keyframes, and you can easy ease them, and you can make a curve like this. Actually, forget what I said. Let's pull the right one all the way to the left. And let's see how that looks. It looks nice, but it's way too fast. Make it way slower. Still make it a bit slower. That's nice. I like that. Now we can go to where this keyframe starts. So kind of over here. And you can grab this text. And we need to make it change to a white text. So how do we do that? The way I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna slap on a fill, make it black, and keyframe this color, go like a few frames forward, and just make it white. This is the way I'm gonna do it. Just easy as this, and that looks good enough for me. That's nice. Now, the last thing we have to do is parent this text. You can hold shift and click this, and these ones we're actually gonna parent to this purple box or the black box, which is actually purple on the timeline. So we're gonna parent them to this. The reason we do that is so we can make a scale keyframe and we can size it up just a bit. I'm also gonna center the anchor point. So again, use this plugin, get it if you don't have it, or click over there and then just kind of scale it up. You can also hold Command or Control to not scale it up too much. Just play around with it till it looks good. And this looks pretty good. Yeah, I just noticed this. The linear wipe thing happens way too late. We want it exactly when the mouse hits it, so you can select both of the keyframes and just go like that. Same thing for the scale. And there we go. And we also changed the coloring of the text to happen when it should. And there we go. That's basically how I would do it. Now the way you're gonna animate the black thing going away, I'm just gonna go ahead and copy these keyframes from Command C, Command V, paste them right over here, go to Keyframe Assistant and time reverse them. So it's gonna go like that and you can make it way quicker. And the same thing for this transition completion. I'm actually gonna just take this keyframe and place it right here where I put the scale keyframes and just go ahead and make it 100 over there. And that way it's gonna animate out. Now what's left is to do the same thing for these other ones. So it's just basically repeating it till you get all of them done. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna see you in a sec. I'm gonna challenge you a bit. I'm not gonna show you how to do it again. You're gonna try to do it by yourself. So I'll see you in a sec. Alright, now after a bunch of copy and pasting keyframes, we're finally at the last box. And here we have the mosaic effect, and we're gonna want to get rid of this as the black background appears on it. So you can select the text and you can keyframe both of these blocks, so the horizontal and the vertical blocks, keyframe both of them, press U to see the keyframes, and just go a frame forward, a couple frames forward, and increase these quite a bit. You can hold shift and increase them so it goes fast. And might as well ease that. There we go. And this, we forgot to change this font, so let's do that. We use the Helvetica bold, I think, and might as well make it a bit bigger. Place it correctly. There we go. That looks good. This one's actually way bigger. Okay, now the final part of this animation is making this results thing expand and putting the text there and the nice effects. So let's do that. So I'm kind of running out of space here, so we do have to make the composition a bit longer. So just go to composition settings if you're facing the same problem and make this like 15 seconds, just so we have some space. And select everything and make them fit the whole comp like that. And now we're gonna go to this black box, so this purple one. We're gonna go over here to the right side on this size. We're gonna unlink this size, and we also have to place this above the box that's below it, so we can place it somewhere over here. Yeah, now we can keyframe the size. So making a size keyframe right there, go ahead and find it, go a bit forward. And the way we can make only the bottom part move, so the top one stays in place, is taking this anchor point, so you can press Y and hold the anchor point, hold shift, pull the anchor point to the top. And now when we pull this, it's not gonna increase the whole thingy, it's just gonna make it bigger from the bottom. Perfect. Now as you can see, we have to place this above, let's just place it above almost everything. And let's take the green dot and let's place this above it so it's still showing. And also the text which says grow your agency, we're gonna bring this also to the top. Alright, I messed something up. That was kind of weird. So the size keyframe didn't work. I have no idea why. So we're just gonna go with the scale keyframe. So just come in after the last scale keyframe and just pulling this down. That should work. And for that, we're gonna make the left graph so easy as in this and pulling the right one all the way to the left. Boom, there we get the same effect. Now we're gonna also go to this null object and I'm gonna make it zoom out a bit and just come down also just a bit so you can see a bit more of the UI. Now it's gonna be a bit different than what Nikola had, because Nikola had a cut in the middle. I'm just gonna do this without the cut, so this is what I'm gonna do. Make it zoom out a bit here, and I'm gonna make the scale just like this. Now let's type the text. I'm gonna copy this grow your agency text. I think this is a nice font, but we are gonna make it way more white. Not exactly, but really close to being actually white. And the text, I'm just gonna type this out. You can copy it if you want to use the same one. And I'm gonna first off change the font to the Helvetica regular. I think that's better. Alright, here I just typed it out. This is what it says. Feel free to use the same text if you want to. And now the effect that we're gonna make it appear with. First off, I'm gonna cut all of these around here, actually around here. And we're gonna use the decoder effect. So decoder fade in, I think. Actually, no, I lied. It's the decode in by random character. So this one is actually better. Yeah, perfect. So just slap this effect to all of these, just like this. And you can always press U for the keyframes and adjust everything. And you can also ease these if you want to. But yeah, basically these are supposed to be kind of short. So yeah, just play around with these keyframes till it looks good. Yeah, this is looking pretty nice. I'm just gonna scale these characters up just a bit so there's not too much space missing at the bottom like there was right now. So let's do something like this. Okay, that looks awesome, beautiful. Now the final thing is make this null object zoom in on this text a bit toward the end. And easy is this, and make a normal graph. Like 70 and like 70 on this one. Yeah, that looks pretty amazing in my opinion. This is pretty much done. The final thing we're gonna do is make a new adjustment layer. So right click and make a new one. Slap on a vignette, increase the size and make the center kind of here where the center is supposed to be. So where the viewer, where you want the viewer to look at, put the center around there. And then over here, where the camera zooms in on the rejected text, you wanna keyframe the amount of the vignette and you're just gonna up this quite a bit. Just like that. You're gonna wanna make the same graph, a graph like that. Then you can just press Command A, put motion blur on everything, and we are done. Here's the full animation. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something. Check out this video for more, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.